FNCS Week 1 in Europe. We have Mr. Savage, Leshy, and Benji Fishy first. And in second, we have Tayson, Mitro, and Mongrel. What? Okay, not bad. Clicks got first with Bizzo and List. What? In sixth, we have Stretch, Saf, and Zayd, which is a good trio. FaZe Mega and FaZe Dubs with Riverson got fourth. Okay. And then Zexro, Macwood, and Calc in second. Speaking of Calc, my guy made it in the news. What? This is the last bit of the video and it's pretty long, so I left a link to it in the description if you want to watch it later.
All right, normally when Dave Holmes makes an appearance, he's talking about sports, but there is a different kind of sport that's making big money without even having to leave your house. Dave, he's been at home for months now. He knows all about that, and he's been learning about the world of video games. Dave?
Yolanda, today is the greatest day in the history of my broadcasting career. I got paid to play video games with one of the best gamers on earth who just so happens to live in Dublin. But what if I got paid to play video games a lot of money every day? It's not as crazy as you might think.
I think video games are definitely the next big thing.
If video games are the next big thing, then Jonathan Weber just might be the next big thing. At 15 years old, Weber is one of the best Fortnite players in the world, and if you don't know what Fortnite is, you could just ask one of the 350 million people who play it.
Wow, they just got absolutely demolished. Did you see that? That was insane.
Imagine if that's how people trash talk, bro.
Since last year, he's made about $300,000 playing Fortnite, and after 5 minutes of playing on his team, I could see why. No!
You know, I'm kind of good at this. Maybe it's almost like I should get paid to play it.
Now, have you got yourself anything just cool? Like, I feel like if I was 15 with 300 grand, I would have bought myself something cool.
I'm not saying it's a good financial decision, and I'm not saying it was a good idea, but I did buy a Rolex like a while ago.
You gotta know what time it is.
Lol.
Yes, time is important to a professional gamer. Jonathan spends 8 to 10 hours a day playing video games. He lives in Dublin, but does all his schoolwork online, so he can devote more time to his craft. You know, back when we were all in school, our parents would be like, hey, put the video games down, do homework. It seems like your mom is really cool with the whole thing, though. She's like, hey, this is kind of your career.
No, I don't think I'd be a professional video game player if my mom wasn't, like, supportive in the first place and let me play video games in the first place. So, obviously, she's been a huge part because she's let me do what I enjoy, which is playing video games. Like, I know some of these parents who, they weren't really supportive of what they did until they made, like, $1 million in a tournament, and then that's when they finally realized they were...
But I know I sound like a lame parent, but look at my guy's posture, like, holy shit, that's not healthy.
Do you consider doing anything else, like, when you're older, or is this just kind of like, this is going to be the career?
I'll try to make this my career, but if it doesn't work out, it's not that big of a deal, because, I'm still getting a high school diploma, I could still go to college if I wanted to. I might even be able to get a scholarship if I wanted to, like, they give out esports scholarships now, you know that?
He's right. Esports are taking over college campuses, including here at Ohio State. Last year, the university built a 4,000 square foot esports facility, complete with more than 80 gaming consoles.
Bro, what? Bro, I'm moving there, holy.
But it's something that students who may not be the greatest athletes on the field, who have incredible mental capacity and eye-hand coordination, who have a chance to represent their universities.
Brandon Smith is the director of esports at Ohio State. His program doesn't offer scholarships yet, but he hopes they will in the future. And that future is full of video games.
I would love to see collegiate esports get to the point where there's tens of thousands of fans in an arena watching the final matches, and I absolutely think that we can get there.
Really start to heat up. There you go.
Selling out an arena to watch people play video games?
It's already a big thing. It's just the biggest thing in the world that nobody's ever heard of.
Breeden Buckley is in charge of filling Nationwide Arena when the Blue Jackets aren't playing. 4 years ago, the arena sold out for the World Championship of Counter-Strike. 2 years ago, it was packed for the Call of Duty World League Championship.
Esports is fascinating to me because it's a brand new market segment. We haven't seen something like this since people started putting motorsports inside of arenas. It's going to keep rolling. It's just going to become part of regular, traditional, everyday life in sports.
Hey, do you ever think about, like, how many people want to be a pro gamer? I mean, do you ever think, like, you are living the life, or do you think it's just no big deal?
It's hard to actually think about it and stuff like that, sort of put it into perspective, like, because I was one of those people, right? Like, not even, like, 2 years ago, right? Like, 2 years ago, I was one of those people, you know? 2 years ago isn't that long ago.
When I was 11, I wanted to be in the NBA, but I'm like, I'm not athletic, so it wasn't gonna happen. You actually, like, could set your goal when you were like 10 years old and achieve it so quickly. That's so cool.
I mean, I never actually expected to get this far, though. I don't think anybody ever expected to get this far until, like, you actually realize how good you were.
And then it hit me.
Lol.
Tomorrow, Jonathan will still get paid to play video games, and I'll go back to my normal job.
Pissed. To be honest, I am too.
Well, how does Jonathan make all that money? Well, most of it is by playing and winning online tournaments, but he also gets paid a salary to represent his professional gaming team, and he does get some money from those followers on Twitch. So, how can your kid do the same thing? Well, Dave reached out to Jonathan's mom, Amy, and she gave the following advice. She says, educate yourself as a parent, learn the games, find out the equipment you need to be competitive. listen to your child, encourage their passion, but make sure they still balance video games with real life. And finally, she says, make sure your kid knows what's involved. This is hard work. Practices, scrimmages, tournaments, watching videos online. Remember, some of these tournaments are based in Europe, so you might have to play in the middle of the night. So it's more than just, just picking up the game console and playing. So it's all fun and games, but the great players, they really do take it very seriously. So
all of this for 8 minutes and 21 seconds. What?
Listening to all my ads where I talk about Team Kingana all the time here. I know I do. I know. And I thank you guys so much for putting up with it.